Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video. Now today's discussion is all about what milestone need to do for Motogp 23. Now it is very clear that Motogp 22 is probably the worst Motogp that Milestone have made since they've started making them back in 2013. Now in 2018 I always go back to the change to the Unreal Engine 4. I've never really enjoyed them that much since they've switched, but this is by far the worst physics, up there with Motogp 18 since they've made the switch to the Unreal Engine. So I have four things here in front of me, four major aspects of the game that have to change, and if they got four of these right, it would probably be up there. It would probably be the best Motogp game. Now the issue Milestone have at the moment is they've lost so much credibility with the community with how bad Motogp 22 was, along with a lot of other reasons, but we're going to just stick to the Motogp category today. So we're going to go straight in with number one, the physics. The physics in Motogp 22 are terrible. As you can see on screen, there's footage of a 7-lap race around Spielberg riding as Joan Mir on the Repsol Honda. You'll see loads of weird, stupid things happen with the physics. Just keep an eye out as I'm talking. You'll see lots and lots of weird things that just don't make sense. First off, if the physics are bad, the game is enjoyable instantly. No matter how good the rest of the game is, you're not going to have a player base. It's simple as that. You need to have good gameplay and a game that relies on it. You can't expect a good career mode to carry a game that has bad gameplay. It's simple as that. You need a good physics system from day one and not to be altering it. We'll get to altering and updates later, but it does happen way too often. But if the game launched day one with decent semi-realistic physics, I know it's not going to be a simulator because it has to cater to more than just the people like me that want realism. They have to make it easy for some people just to be able to pick up the game. Newer fans, I understand that and I respect it, but I still think they need to slightly edge it towards the more realistic side. It just makes more sense to me. Now that's my opinion, not everyone will agree with it, but like I said, it's my opinion. They have to overhaul the physics from the ground up. They can't just kind of, we've tweaked the braking this year, we've redone the tyre models, we've changed the engine characteristics. They have to start from the ground up and just completely go, right, clean slate, we're starting fresh. There's too many issues with curbs in the game, there's too many issues with the braking, lack of consistency with the bikes. They just don't, they still have a big issue where you're braking and you can't turn the bike in because it's braking. If you get on the curb, the bike stops turning. You touch a curb randomly, sometimes it'll just spit you off. These curbs are there to be used like they are in real life, but even this year again they claim they fixed them. They have not. You'll see later in the footage that a curb spits me off for very randomly, but like I keep going back to it, good physics is a good base. The game can build around that. You need to have good physics. If the physics are poor in GP23, it will kill off the last few people playing these games. Now we're going to move on to the second point, which is career mode. Now, before Motogp 22 came out, they were hyping up that GP22's career mode has been redeveloped, revamped, redone, all this, and it just wasn't. It was slightly different menus, and it was the same exactly vanilla game that you would have had in GP20, 21. They had this big kind of advertising of the new career mode, the new managerial career, and it just wasn't. They need to completely, again, there's a bit of a running theme here, they need to gut it out, start fresh, and basically look around them at the other competitors in the market, four wheels included, and look at what others are doing. Start to take that in and just start to use other people's ideas even. I don't care if they go and copy Codemasters F1 career mode and bring it in. It'll be so much better. What do we have now? They just need to completely change it. It just is very stale. It's quite boring. It's quite dull. It's hard to make content for multiple years on it because you're just going over and over and over the same stuff. As of late, the Motogp career modes on multiple channels, including my own, have died down massively just because the viewers, they've seen it all. Bar the physics being terrible, the career modes are pretty lackluster. If you want the game to last a full year cycle to the next one, you need something to keep players invested for multiple seasons. Now of course it's always, well, you get through Moto 3, you get through Moto 2, and then you're into the GP class, but that at most is 3 seasons of exactly the same racing. So where's the motivation to make you want to go and chase 5, 6, 7 seasons? There's not really. Whereas in the F1 game, no, of course F1 doesn't have F2 and F3 in career mode as much as it is in GP. But you start off with a dog of a car in my career, or my team I should say. You have to put so much work into practice programs to get resource points, to build up the car, to get to a point where you can fight. It just isn't the same in GP. It's just, well, there's, we need to do small upgrade. It's very bare bones compared to the actual side of it that Codemasters have. Codemasters, you have in-depth, you can adjust the bike in certain, or adjust the car I should say, in certain ways. You need some aero, that's what you can go and get. In this game you go, oh, it's got more engine power, oh, the chassis is more rigid. You don't feel anything different. You actually feel the updates in the F1 games. Now there's multiple other games out there that could reference, but it's just easy to reference Codemasters F1 games because it's kind of MotoGP versus F1 has always been a bit of a debate. So the career mode just needs some sort of revamp. They can't just put out another career mode and go, it's the same thing again, but we're going to call it something else. We're going to change the lighting, and there you go, enjoy. Now, third out of fourth thing on my list is a huge thing up there, as it's pretty much up there with the physics for me. It's the AI. Again, in this footage set, you will see AI doing stupid maneuvers, having no awareness of the actual real-life rider, just being a bit retarded really. They're just crashing into each other, knocking each other off, crashing in weird ways. Now, I do respect the fact that they crash on their own. I like that because in real life riders do make mistakes. I'd like the AI to make mistakes. I don't want them to just ride around in a circle, not pass each other and just all come home in their qualifying positions. I like them to be able to battle, but with this with this whole system of adaptive learning, it doesn't work. It just does not work. The neurological link that they've put into this to make the AI think of what they have to do, they just get things wrong. They outbrake the rider when he's outbraking them, and it just makes it messy. I don't know how many times in career mode I've been taken out over the past 3 seasons. It's so frustrating to battle with them because they're so stupid. They don't have any spatial awareness of the rider. They don't give you room. They just turn in, they punch you off the track. They're just absolutely infuriating. This is another thing, whether they should go back to a more conventional AI, I don't know what is best for this because I'm not a computer programmer, I'm not really a PC person, I don't really know what's the best way, but all I know is this AI is rubbish. We need some sort of revamp again. Just like, again, we go back to the physics. The stapleton of the game is that you need good gameplay. That includes the AI. You have to have AI that is fun to play against. If the AI is boring, you go back to previous games that had better physics, it still kind of ruins the game because the AI can't really battle with you. They're either too stupid, too fast, too slow, or they're reckless. It's just so inconsistent. Now, how many times in career mode this year I've had races where I've shut up, they've been 3 seconds a lap quicker, then the next race I'm out of sector 1 and I have a 12-second lead. So it's just, it ruins the authenticity of the career mode, it ruins the flow, it's hard to make content, and it just ruins the overall enjoyment. The enjoyment level isn't there, and that's a big issue. Now we're going to move on to the final thing, which is slightly different. Most people won't mention this, but I think it's a huge part of what Milestone is doing to their game. Number 4 is they must stop these weird kind of 2-3 weeks into the game updates that completely alter the physics, and then they don't say anything in the patch notes, and then you're just left with some weird physics that you don't know what they've changed, you don't know why they've changed. Everyone is like, oh, it's placebo, but then other people are saying it is, you can feel the difference. For years they've been doing it. I don't understand why. If they should just, if they have to push the game out longer, I'd rather wait longer. Now of course it's down to Dorn as well. When the game comes out, there's a bit of technical licensing going on there, and I understand that, but get the physics right before launch. Don't post the game out and then go, right, we have to change this because this is not how we wanted the game to go out. Because you get the game, you get used to the game the way it is, and then you have to go and completely relearn the game. And for people that don't play these games every day, that want to play maybe an hour a week, every time they jump on there's an update, the game feels different. That'll ruin the enjoyment for them as well. It'll force them away from the game. You're just driving down sales, you're driving down reviews, less people playing, less people online. The whole community is shrinking. It's just a snowball that gets bigger and bigger, and all these aspects put into one. It's just killing off the MotoGP games, and I'm incredibly passionate about the sport of MotoGP. And of course, I'd like the games to be at a high level. Unfortunately, they're just not there at the moment. So if they can just, Now, I understand updates are great. I remember if you go back to a PS2 game, if it was broken from launch, it was just broken. You'd never get a fix. Whereas now you can get things fixed, things altered, and it does help the game in ways. But changing the physics massively and saying nothing about it just really pisses off the community. So many people are like, well, the braking feels different now. I can't get a stop now. My lap times are way slower. Why can't I beat the leaderboard times now? Because the physics are different. It just gets more things for people to mourn about. They just need to get rid of them. Keep the updates coming for content and fixing bugs. It's a new game, it's always going to have bugs, it's understandable. But changing the physics is just not the right way to go about it. They shouldn't do it. Stick to what you have at launch. Trust me, everyone will be a lot happier. So that has been my 4 things I think Milestone have to focus on to make MotoGP 23 a step forward. If they can nail the 4 of these, it could be one of the better MotoGP games on the Unreal Engine 4. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm sure you'll all have your own opinions on this. Let me know if you agree, disagree. Comment down below what you think the biggest issues with the current game is, and do you reckon they need a new engine? Do they need a whole new team to develop the game? Let me know. I'll be very, very interested to see what you guys see. Also, just before we end the video, I have posted today about my Discord server. I'll also post a link in it down below. I've made a new thread for a help corner. I get a lot of comments. People ask me, how do I do this? How did you get that? Join the server, pop a question in there. I'll be a lot quicker to answer to the help corner than I am to get back to YouTube comments. I usually leave YouTube comments for one time during the day, and then I can answer all back to them. Whereas I'm kind of constantly nearly active in the Discord server. So jump over there. Any questions, hit me up in there. You'll get me a much quicker response. But anyway, I am going to leave there. Like I said, drop a comment down below, jump into Discord if you have any questions, give your feedback in there if you want. And thank you all for watching today's video. I'll see you in the future. Bye bye.